Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. So, is your phone really about to get a promotion? We've been hearing for years that our devices are getting smarter, but the next big jump isn't just about smarts, it's about being proactive. The big idea we're diving into is how our phones and laptops are right on the edge of becoming our coworkers, our active assistants, these agents that don't just wait for you to ask, but actually get things done.
Okay, so let's break this down. The key phrase you're going to hear a lot is agentic AI. Forget the simple assistants, like asking for the weather. We are talking about a whole new kind of assistant, one that can understand a complex goal, like, hey, plan my weekend trip to the coast, and then just does it. It finds the hotel, books dinner, checks the surf report, and puts it all in your calendar, all while learning what you like. It's a huge leap from just responding to commands to actually doing things for you.
And the big tech companies? They're basically shouting from the rooftops that this future isn't some far-off sci-fi dream anymore. They're telling us the promise of a truly personal AI assistant is finally here, and it is going to change everything.
For the longest time, the dream of these AI agents was held back by one thing: the hardware. The ideas were there, but the chips just couldn't keep up. Well, that roadblock is gone. At a recent summit, the chipmaker Qualcomm pretty much declared that the era of agents has begun. Their AI chief is saying loud and clear, the silicon is finally ready. And to see what he means, you just have to look at the raw numbers. This is wild. A token is basically a piece of a word that the AI has to process. Just a couple of years ago, a top-of-the-line phone chip could handle about 15 of those per second. The new Snapdragon chip, it can handle up to 220. That's not just a small step up, it's a massive, game-changing leap. It's the difference between a clunky, slow assistant and one that feels instant. And it's not just phones. The jump for laptops is just as mind-blowing. Qualcomm's newest PC chips can perform 80 trillion operations per second. It's an almost unimaginable number, but what it means for you is that your laptop has the raw horsepower to run these incredibly complex AI tasks right there on your device, without needing to constantly phone home to the cloud. Of course, all that power doesn't mean much if the software isn't smart enough to use it, right? Well, the AI models are getting way more sophisticated too. You have companies like Anthropic creating these fast little sub-agents to handle quick jobs. And they've also launched Skills for Claude, which is super cool. It lets you train the AI on your specific work tools. Imagine an AI that actually knows how to use your version of Excel. It's happening everywhere, from OpenAI to travel sites like Kayak, all building tools to make these agents genuinely useful in the real world. So it's a really exciting vision, no doubt. But you know how it is with these massive tech shifts. The promise you see in the keynote is often a whole lot different from the reality on the ground. And right now, that reality is messy. We're talking deep distrust and some pretty spectacular disasters. And it says a lot that even Apple, one of the biggest and richest companies on the planet, seems to be struggling. They've been losing a steady stream of their top AI talent directly to their rival, Meta. I mean, we're talking about heads of entire departments, lead researchers. It's a classic brain drain, and it hints at a real struggle inside the company to keep up in this new AI arms race.
Now, while some companies are struggling, others are just charging full steam ahead, oozing confidence. OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, recently came out and said that they've now mitigated the serious mental health issues with ChatGPT, and because of that, they're planning to relax some of the safety restrictions. That is a very bold claim to make about one of the most difficult issues in AI.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the massive disconnect between Silicon Valley and pretty much everyone else. While the CEO of OpenAI is claiming the issue is handled, a recent poll shows that a staggering 81% of the public either doesn't trust or isn't open to using AI for mental health support. Only 8% actually trust it. That's not a gap, that's a chasm. This deep distrust isn't just showing up in polls. It's showing up in how people are actually using their phones. As tech companies rush to bake AI into every single app and feature, a really interesting counter-movement is popping up. A whole lot of people are actively searching for the off switch. Yeah, this backlash has gotten so common that tech sites are now publishing detailed, step-by-step guides on how to disable and flat-out remove AI assistants like Gemini from your phone. People are going out of their way to revert to older, dumber software. They are actively choosing to opt out of this new world. And hey, sometimes the problems aren't about complicated software ethics or user trust. Sometimes the problems are way more physical, way more immediate, and honestly, way more explosive. And that was on full display in a recent durability test of Google's new foldable phone. So a really popular tech reviewer put the new Pixel Fold through a pretty standard stress test, and the results were catastrophic. First, even with a high durability rating, dust got into the hinge and you could hear it grinding. Then, when he bent it backwards at a known weak point, it didn't just break, it snapped clean in half, punctured its own battery, and literally went up in a cloud of smoke, all on camera. A total epic failure.
So, where does all this leave us? On one hand, you've got this incredible innovation that promises to completely change our lives. On the other, you've got these spectacular failures, deep public distrust, and even the biggest companies falling behind. How are we supposed to make sense of this chaotic new normal?
I think the story of technology right now isn't just one thing. It's about trying to navigate these powerful contradictions. The promise of an effortless AI automated life is running headfirst into the reality of users who just want to turn it off. The promise of amazing new hardware is being undermined when that hardware literally explodes. And the promise of safety is hitting a brick wall of public skepticism. This tension is the real story. And none of this is happening in a bubble. The very infrastructure that powers all this stuff is getting a massive upgrade. For example, SpaceX's new Starlink satellites are now promising to deliver gigabit internet speeds from space. That kind of powerful, always-on connectivity is only going to pour fuel on the AI agent fire, making those questions of trust and safety even more urgent. This tension between progress and being cautious plays out everywhere, not just in our phones. Take the recent debate in California over forever chemicals in cookware. The decision to veto a ban came down to concerns over keeping affordable options available. It's the same fundamental conflict, the push for convenience versus potential risks. It's the exact same trade-off we're facing with AI.
And that all leads us to the final and I think most important question. These new AI agents, our new digital coworkers, they're showing up whether we're ready or not. And they are designed to learn from us, to adapt to our needs. So as they become a part of our lives, who's ultimately responsible for training them, for shaping them into something helpful and not harmful? Is it all on the companies that build them? Or do we, the users, now have a new responsibility to actively train our own technology? That's a question we're all going to have to answer, and that answer is going to define our future. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.